An ABC News journalist caught on camera exposing the lies that his network was telling to the world about COVID-19. The ABC in question, though, is the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, not America's ABC. This week, a group of reporters were on hand for the Osman press conference for U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. He was there to speak. Here was the folks at the press conference. Here you can see the ABC reporter, Stephen Gedget's, sitting there on the far right, waiting for the news conference, and see him there like looking down at his laptop. And he's there with Matthew Nocht and the Sydney Morning Herald and the Australian's Ben Packen. Well, the microphones were hot, and these three men decided to talk about how their media organizations had handled the COVID-19 coverage. ABC's Stephen Gedget's then makes a shocking admission, calling out his own network for failing to investigate the origins of COVID.
It's a good word. Shari's COVID stuff. Yeah. Just weakens.
Amazingly, she is looking more and more like
she is. It's gone in phases.
It's just annoying.
It's gone in phases.
She's such a pit bull and she's so unhinged, and yet she might still be right.
And look, I would definitely say it's still definitely
Can you be
unresolved,
unhinged and still right?
It's persuasive.
It's looking less.
How does she know it wasn't a bat?
She doesn't. No one does.
But it is, the location is extremely suspicious.
It's
obviously. And you don't want to let the Chinese off the hook, do you?
I feel like I remember being super dismissive of that very early. Not even very early on, for a good while. I was like, that is just the most unhinged thing ever. And I reckon I was overly influenced by the fact that there were some truly nasty and crazy people who were already deep down the rabbit hole. I probably didn't look at it dispassionately enough.
It became weirdly ideological.
Yeah, well, it just became very Trumpy.
Which it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
You sort of had.
Well, even the attacks on Fauci and stuff.
Yeah.
It's sort of
Trumpy.
Stuff,
but you sort of had the three sort of theories there. That, natural.
Yeah.
The Chinese were monkeying around with the virus.
Yeah.
Or they released it as a bioweapon sort of thing, and that was
the bioweapon stuff was always unhinged.
It got caught up.
And that sort of got.
As opposed to a lab leak.
No one rational took that seriously, but it sort of meant
it sort of fed into the lab leak stuff or became associated with it.
Sherry responded to this. Let's listen to Sherry's response to them calling her unhinged and crazy, but actually in the end correct. Watch.
Look, nice to hear my colleague Ben Packen defending my coverage, but calling me unhinged and a pit bull, well, I describe my investigative book, my features, my documentary, my dozens of world-exclusive articles as careful and forensic. I've interviewed hundreds of people, both on and off the record, including whistleblowers, Wuhan sources, intelligence officials, government insiders, investigators, and more. I've spent hundreds of hours of my time away from my children, or when I should have been sleeping late at night and very early in the morning, to investigate this, because I felt and I still feel it's incredibly important to know the origins of the pandemic. But more importantly, did you hear that astonishing admission about why Stephen Gedget's, the ABC's foreign affairs reporter, why he didn't look into this story? Because of ideology.
Yeah, because of ideology. That's the heart of it all, right?